Good morning. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking and subscribing, viewing, sharing. Any interaction you do with these readings or any of my posts are really helpful to me and to just kind of boosting the visibility of these readings, which I have as a goal, if I'm being real. I don't necessarily want to keep or would want to provide these out into a void that nobody, that not many people see. But I'm definitely also okay with maintaining a smaller community and not having a viral community. But that said, I would love interaction, because the more that people interact with these posts in terms of commenting or liking or even just viewing them, the more specific they get for the group of people watching these readings. And so it's just this nice exchange of energy that if you're actually inputting and engaging with me or with the comments section or whatever, it's helpful to the meaning of the readings for you, the more you tune into them. So I always have hesitated to say that, because I know it will seem like I'm saying that in order to just get more viewers. Like, oh, if you engage, it's more, but that's not what it's really true. I mean, the more that we engage here virtually via the comments and so on, the more specific energy comes through for the people watching these. So in ways that are hopefully useful to them. So that said, let's just get going here with a general layout. My setting and my goal for today is to do a general reading for the collective, and whatever comes out, comes out. I hope you're doing well out there, and I hope you are enjoying the shift in where I live in the northern hemisphere. It's the spring equinox, the fall equinox in the southern hemisphere, and I have people in Peru, so I'm thinking of them right now as they start entering are currently entering their harvest season. And they've been also mentioning to us that their harvest season is changing radically because of the changing climate. And I've noticed that here where I live, where our clearing and burning season is really short anymore. The land I live on, that we were fortunate enough and privileged enough to purchase, excuse me, for some reason I'm being guided to go off on this tangent, and I know that also sounds like, if you're not really a tarot person, me talking about being guided is new for you. If you know me personally, I don't often speak like that, but I'm becoming more comfortable with sharing this part of myself. And so I'm being guided to talk about the land that I live on, because we were fortunate enough to purchase this land. It's a little bit over 4 acres on the lower Columbia River, but for most of current history, it's been just downstream from a nuclear power plant. In the early 2000s, the nuclear power plant was dismantled, but here locally they still have spent rods being stored underground, not far from here. So in the recent past, post-colonization, right, this part of the river has been really industrialized and seen as more of a source of commodity versus a beautiful natural environment from the colonizing people that came here. So there's been a lot of destruction to this part of the lower Columbia River in terms of destruction of fish populations and healthy fish habitat and clean water and stuff like that. So when we purchased this land, it was a huge undertaking, because no one's really ever lived here, but it's been abused by people. And it's also had a lot of invasive plants introduced here. The big one being English ivy. It completely almost choked out all of the native plant growth on this land. And where I live, it's a known problem. The English ivy is a really bad problem here. But I live in a somewhat economically poorer community and county, so there's not a lot of, it's not like Portland or wherever, where there's all these environmental organizers going in to tackle English ivy and stuff. It's not really like that out here. People are trying, but we're a little bit outnumbered by the ivy still. So part of my decolonial practice, as someone who believes in decolonization and very specifically decolonizing my mind, buying this land was a little bit of feeling of a colonial endeavor, because this is Chinook land. Then we had a discussion about part of our decolonization is going to be to try to restore this land that we're living on to a healthy place with as much eradication of the English ivy as we can. I'm not somebody that hates invasive plants or that has a negative, like, I love English ivy. It just doesn't belong here. It's choking out the native plants to such an extent that it's really a tragedy. So clearing ivy is one of the big tasks where I live, and it's unpleasant. It's not a fun task, but one of the ways I approach it is to try to remember every season as I start to remove and pull ivy from the ground and cut it from trees, is to let it know I'm not trying to destroy you, but this current landscape is out of balance because you came from a place that's not of this place. So, you know, I've tried to just sort of commune with the ivy so that I don't have a negative relationship with anything to do with the land here. I don't know why exactly I started to go into that discussion around invasive plants, but I do think for me it was a shift because I'm a social activist and a clinical social worker and someone who likes to, or used to like to, be in the streets and doing physical actions for social change. But some of my trauma started making that work harder to do. So I've tried to kind of shift focus now to, like, now my decolonization process is trying to decolonize this land that I'm living on and honor the original people of the land. We've talked about trying to build a relationship with the Chinook tribe, who's currently seeking federal recognition. So I highly recommend that you support that effort and look for ways that you can get involved to support the Chinook. We've also talked about trying to either gift or leave this land to the Chinook so that it goes back to Indigenous hands and Indigenous ownership, right? Anyways, that's a little bit of a sidebar and a side tangent. I think it started because of the spring equinox and the climate change and the way that clearing ivy here is very important to this land that we're living on, but it's also harder to do anymore because the burning season is getting so much shorter that we are really, like, we can do a little bit of clearing and then we've immediately got to stop and move into, like, helping this land be ready for fire season so that we're not in danger. This never used to be a dangerous zone for fire season, but it is now, like a lot of places on the West Coast. So I'll make sure to put a timestamp in this so that you don't have to necessarily hear this intro if you're not so much interested in that type of thing and just want to hear a card reading. For me, these two things are not something I would ever keep separate. So that's why my channel gets a little political at times. Not political, but just human rights focused or environmental, you know, in its nature. So what are some collective messages? What's helpful for us to know right now? What's going to be, what needs to come out? What needs to come out for people here? Three of Pentacles, so collaborative working, three-dimensional efforts and goals are maybe going to be in play here. Gosh, wow. Okay. Whew. All right, so we're on a roll here. We're rolling. This is going to be a big layout, it looks like. Super interesting so far. And I know I say this a lot, but I'm going to say it here. I love cards. I love the endless ways that they can be interpreted and their messages revealed, and the harmonizing ways and synchronistic ways that they present themselves to add layers of meaning. They're just fascinating to me. So at the central column here, we have major power. This is a majorly powerful, you could even look at this as like the central channel. Like our spinal column in our body and our energetic body is called the central channel, and the subtle body, right? The energetic body within us that is also around the realm of the spine and the nervous system. This column right here is almost like that central channel of this reading, and it's very powerful energy. So we have the star card in the heart chakra, or I'm sorry, in the crown chakra, what would be the crown of this central column. And then at the root, we have the sun. So that's very beautiful energy coming through here. This is going to have meaning for a lot of people, I can tell, and it's going to have kind of a deeper spiritual meaning, the message coming through this reading. So the star card in the seen world and the sun card in the hidden realms, which is super interesting. That's really, really positive, uplifting, heavenly body type energy that you are in and moving within right now, like a blessed time. The cross at the center of the Celtic cross is the Hanged Man and the Empress. So this process that you're in, and this period of stillness and heavenly guidance and heavenly alchemization of energy around you, is leading you to an incredibly gorgeous and harmonized feminine element within you. And again, this gets said over and over, but when we're talking about masculine and feminine, it's often just energetic poles in the tarot and spiritual polarities, not anything to do with gender. So this is so powerful. The Star, the Empress, the Hanged Man, and the Sun all running through this. This is something that shows me that you've been following divine guidance, following your inner light, trusting the heavens and the heavenly bodies to work with you to manifest your dreams, and making your peace with the stillness that's required. That might have been something that might have been challenging for you in the past, to be still and allow things to come to you. You might be, and many people in capitalist society, in order to survive, are forced into positions of having to grind and work really harder than emotionally or mentally we've been meant to. But that can become a trap, right? Where you just feel like you have no choice but to keep being on that treadmill. And I'm sensing that you have started making your peace and becoming empowered by being willing to be in stillness and be receptive and let things come to you. What's also super fascinating here is that crossing on the horizontal plane are 2 sevens. In the recent past, it's the 7 of Swords. So we'll get a little more clarity around that card if we need to. I have a feeling it's you, that by doing this work, you're kind of under the radar, low-key getting your rewards. You're getting away with the prize, but maybe not everybody knows that yet. You know, and maybe a select few know, but maybe others don't. This could also be someone around you who might be trying to interfere with this or not like this for you for some reason, but we'll find out. The near future is the 7 of Pentacles. So these 2 sevens here are interesting, working together in some way. Maybe to bring in the gifts and the rewards that you have astutely and craftily created for yourself. In the near future, there's going to be a period of productive work around it, or productive harvest, because here it is. It's all right here. This is what's coming or present for you. This beautiful major arcana energy in the central column, and in the near future, maybe the abundant harvest starting to reveal itself to you, that is making manifest in the physical world. It's no longer just a heavenly idea, right? Or a spiritually guided goal that you're working to manifest. Now in the near future, due to some, I think, crafty and due diligence and willingness to fly below the radar, you are going to get to be harvesting some of this. Your approach has been the Page of Pentacles, right? That's the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, so you've been working in a young, learning, humble place to make these things come into being. In this case, I would say that this Page of Pentacles is, you're in a young stage of manifestation of these things for yourself. A page is a little vulnerable, but he's also, because he's often operating in an unseen way, he's very powerful in a way that people underestimate him for. For example, I can think of the character Varys in Game of Thrones, who is arguably the most powerful person in the entire equation of Westeros, right? I mean, he has spies everywhere, and it turns out they're children. And he has, like, his being willing to be in the shadows and in the background and not seek visible power for himself makes him incredibly powerful in Game of Thrones. Someone discusses that in Game of Thrones at some point, but it's not really something that occurs to you until somebody wise points it out, how much power he really has. And that's what's coming through right here. Other people might not be seeing it yet, but you have a sense that you're coming into a huge time of empowerment. Right now you're in a humble place. The energy coming towards you is that people are being drawn to you in powerful and profound ways. You might be attracting lovers. You might be attracting people who are just drawn because they sense the power that you are now standing in. And you're attracting this level of, like, people wanting to penetrate that. That's a very feminine receptive. So now you're attracting a lot of penetration. You're attracting, that could be conceptualized tantrically or energy polarity wise or literally sexually. This could be a lever that is so drawn to you right now that it's going to alchemize some kind of a sexual encounter. That could be. Your greatest hopes and fears are that you want to be able to keep following your inner light. And where the energy is headed is the Queen of Swords. So a very decisive time for you, that by following and allowing this spiritual transformation to happen for you, you are going to be leaving behind what no longer serves you and stepping into this empowered Queen of Swords era. But let's get a little bit of clarity now about the swords here, because I think these swords, the Seven of Swords and the Queen of Swords, I think they represent you. But let's just make sure. Who are the swords here? Who are these swords players in the equation? Do they represent us, or do they represent somebody that we're coming towards, or what? Who is the swords? Who are the swords here? I have a feeling it's you. You are the Empress at the center of things, and these are aspects of you, like facets of you. The crafty cat burglar, the wise ruler that you have to be sometimes. I just had to be, okay, this is another story. I have a lot of stories today, apparently, but they're illustrative of the points that we're making. I had to be in Queen of Swords energy on Monday for my employed job that I still have 1 day a week. So it's been experienced by me as a fairly toxic work environment. So almost a year after getting employed there, I realized I need to make a major life change, and I need to go into practice for myself. I need to stop doing my clinical work for other people, for employers, and eliminate them and just go straight to my clients. And I started a private practice. But to help me through that transition, I still have some per diem, like contract work with the hospital system. And I have felt it to be a toxic work environment, and I really literally emotionally can only be there 1 day a week, because if I'm there any more than that, I start getting sucked in and it disrupts my peace. But there's a person at work who gets really triggered by me because of my assertion and my solidness internally and my unwillingness to play the game or play along or do things that uphold that toxic work culture. This person at work doesn't like that or feels threatened by me in a way. And I discovered recently that they are going around behind me to check my work. It's almost like they're looking to find something on me to go to management with or to dig up about me. And these kinds of bullshit scenarios happen a lot in workplaces, which is why I'm not going to play the game anymore and be in a workplace anymore. But this was yet another example of it, where a lot of times when I deal with this person, I just ignore them and I cut energetic cords because they aggravate me as well, like I aggravate them. And I don't want them to have that power in my life. So my way of dealing with that person is usually just to stay real neutral with them and cut cords. And their triggers about me are theirs to manage. I don't have to worry about it. That doesn't sit well with that person, though. They like and want to try to engage me when I'm around because there's something about me that's activating to them. I have my own theories, but whatever. But because I discovered, it just kind of revealed itself over time, because this person keeps busting themselves. They were going behind me in a way that was really unprofessional and could have started causing damage in our delivery of our care. And so on Monday, I had to call this person out, and I had to really think clearly about how am I going to do it, because this person has some power on the team. I really find their behavior to be unprofessional and disrespectful, but they do have a little bit of authority over me, even though I'm a contract employee really at this point. This person is not my boss technically, but it's like they have a seniority kind of. So I just decided for the first time really ever with this person, my approach was going to need to escalate, because they are escalating in their behavior towards me. And so I had to get in this Queen of Swords energy kind of hardcore, beyond what I even feel comfortable with at times, and really call him out. And it sounds funny, but the ways that I did that it's powerful work setting communication can go a long way. And it sounds ridiculous, but I did a lot of like bold and italic type in conveying my point to him in ways that I really avoid in email communication for the most part, because I think it's over the top. But I needed him to grasp, and I needed the actual supervisors and management. I CC'd them. I wanted them to know what was going on from an accurate place, but from a place of me being willing to be very assertive on my own behalf and stop this behavior in its tracks. So I called out exactly what I did. I explained to him why it wasn't okay with me and why I was concerned about it. And then I just said, I just need to address things directly. I'm not someone that can, I understand that this can come across as very confrontational, but I'm trying to confront an issue. I'm not trying to make you defensive personally, but I'm trying to confront behavior that I don't understand. So this is where that energy is headed. It might be a little bit uncomfortable for you, given all this heavenly guidance and you wanting to kind of be more of a gentle, feminine energy, but an Empress knows when it's time to play hardball, right? Just like a Queen of Swords. And so that's going to come for you, possibly because you might have some haters around you because of your solid, secure energy, right? That might be why that message came out. So let's see, is there any warning about any of this? Is this Seven of Swords, or is there any warnings about any of these swords here? What else should you know about coming into this new era? It's going to require you to have some real discernment and clarity in your air element. What about these swords here? Yeah, it's going to be hard for you at times to do that kind of work, to be that Queen of Swords. It's not, I'm sensing here that it's not something that is, you're not necessarily someone who operates all the time in the air element. You might feel more comfortable in the fire or water element. And so having to engage the swords, like this Queen of Swords, is giving you a little bit of self-doubt. And I had a lot of self-doubt because the other challenge with this person I had to confront is that this person's very like positivity all the time. Like his affect is very positive, positive, positive. The way I experience that is that it can start feeling disingenuous because not everybody's experience is positive all the time, right? But he's perceived often as like, oh, he's trying to be this positive force in the workplace. The impact on me and on other people, I'm not alone, is that it feels invalidating and disingenuous to be talking about how great everything is when Rome is burning, right? Or when there's something, like there are real problems in that team that really need addressed. But part of the toxicity is that nobody wants to do it. Everybody wants to hover on this level of like, everything's great. And that's how I experience this person. But because many of them view him in this positive light, it wasn't comfortable for me to write this kind of hardcore piercing message at him because I was worried about the outcome. What are people going to think about me speaking to this person in this way? I know I'm not alone in my feelings towards that person, but I don't know how the management feels towards them because I try to really detach from all of that. So wasn't comfortable for me. People perceive me as being very comfortable with boundaries, and I am a lot more comfortable now than I used to be, but it's still out of my comfort zone. And one thing that you'll find is that having to assert a boundary over and over is tiring emotional labor. I try to strive for relationships where I don't have to do that anymore, but this is one of those where I've had to really crack down almost on my personal boundaries. And it's saying that this discomfort with the swords, don't listen too much to those worries because your successful level of discernment is racing you towards a success with this Chariot card and into a new creative era with this Ace of Wands. So this is a really powerful reading. There's a lot of your willingness to allow things to come towards you, yet still set boundaries where needed, is bringing you into this really harmonious place. What is it bringing you? What is the situation here? Like, what's going on? Is this in the realm of the heart and work, in all areas of life? Like, what is it? What have you generated for yourself? This beautiful heavenly bodies and divine guidance coming through about your joy and your life purpose, and you're being ready to receive all of this bountiful stuff coming towards you, this love, this new beginning, this success. There might be worries that you've been so assertive and hardcore and cutting cords to the old way that you're worried that it's hurt people maybe. I'm kind of feeling that, but you're a little worried about whether you've hurt people unnecessarily because it's not comfortable for you to be kind of in this heavily swords focused mindset. What is the situation about here for you? What is going on? What is this about? Fighting for justice. So this Queen of Swords comes into play in the same way that I just told that story about work on Monday. To me, it was about justice. This person's behavior had really crossed a line into very unfair towards me. I have given him no reason to feel he needs to check my work. I have a good reputation there. In spite of it being a toxic work culture, part of the reason I have a good reputation is that I maintain my cool there, and I still speak my truth when it's necessary, but I also know how to hold my tongue. So I'm respected there by a lot of staff too, which protects me, I think. So fighting for justice is at the heart of the matter, and sometimes when you have to use swords, if swords is not your typical way, it's a little uncomfortable. But you've recognized I have to be okay with that part of me. An empress can't be uncomfortable with wielding power. An empress has to be comfortable with speaking truth to power and wielding power herself, right? In order to fight for justice. Things are going from a time of chaos into a time of order, because you have been willing to follow this kind of inner guidance that you've been following. Breathe deeply and replenish yourself. Rest, because you are going to be coming into a period now of boundary setting and limit setting, potentially with people who don't like or are envious, right? There are often, when you're succeeding, there are people that are triggered by that. Why, how come I'm not succeeding? Why do they get all the, I've had that a lot in my life. Like, people envy my security with myself at this point without really grasping. I had to do fucking years of hard ass emotional work to get to this place. This isn't something I was born with. It's everyone's right to achieve if you are willing to do the hard spiritual work of healing and balancing your inner fires and your inner masculine and feminine. But when you're succeeding, because of having been willing to work hard, you attract envy and jealousy and talk, right? So that's what I'm sensing here, is that you're going to have to, while enjoying all of this success and fire and new beginnings, you're also going to have to learn, like, nope, like how to cut away that kind of negativity or jealousy or envy that can disrupt your energy, right? Like that guy at work, he was really starting to escalate and disrupt shit for me at work in a way that was inappropriate. And so it's like, I can't be playing nice and neutral right now. I need to call this out for what it is, because it could actually cause some damage. And it was uncomfortable, and I don't like being, I could tell at first he was perceiving me as being a bitch, right? Well, that's because he's uncomfortable with being assertive. This is a person who is not assertive himself. He's sneaky, behind the scenes assertive. Like, I'm going to see what kind of dirt I can find on this coworker that bothers me, right? What are the words of this Knight of Cups here? What is this entity or energy coming towards you? What are the messages of that? That's the energy coming towards you. So stuff that's a little bit maybe out of your control. What are the words of this Knight of Cups? Who is the Knight of Cups, and what are the words of the Knight of Cups? I hid who I really am from you. I wish things could be different. I hope that you can forgive me one day. It was my fault, but I blamed you. So someone in the equation sees what's happening. You often hear people talk about it like you're in your glow up. You're in a major glow up, though. This is kind of transcends a pop culture term like glow up. This is like spiritual alchemizing glow up or something, right? Like Herkimer diamond glow up or something. It's not just a glow up. Like, you're looking good lately. This is like a glow up on all fronts in your life. And this person's feeling it and seeing it and witnessing it, and it's maybe woken them up to a little bit of qualities in them that need healing. So this person, this Knight of Cups coming towards you, might be in the form of an apology. This Lover coming back in and surprising you with, like, you're doing so amazing and I just want you to know it wasn't you, or I'm sorry I hurt you, or whatever. Somebody's wanting to come towards you, and they're in a little bit of sorrow and regret about how things went down between you in the past. And they may not have been fully honest with you about something. What else? I'm going to pull some more cards about that. Who's this Knight of Cups? It's someone who's regretful, who you've had a falling out with. And you're kind of not about it at this point. Like, that being in that Queen of Swords energy might be like, until this person actually maybe tries to make an amends with you, they're not welcome. I can feel that from this Queen of Swords energy. Let's see any more about this Knight of Cups. What's the scenario there? You've recognized you need to maintain a just position for yourself. You've brought the chaos, maybe of the uncertainty, into a place of order by doing your own work. And now you're in a place of rest where you've created what you need before you're into the harvest again, right? Who is the Knight here? What's this about? Queen of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, and Strength. So this Knight, like I said, sees what you're doing, because this is you, the Page of Pentacles, creating this stuff for yourself. You're in a period of rest right now with this Hanged Man while you start to receive the abundant harvest coming towards you. He sees it, or this Knight, that again, gender's not implied, I'm just saying he, because a Knight is a he, but it doesn't have to be. It depends on your situation. He sees the glow up from that you're going to go from a page into a queen. He sees that you're becoming this empress. And I have a sense that he's trying to alchemize some of his inner demons, because here is the Strength card. He's trying to work up to saying this to you. It might be hard for him. Like, he might be a prideful person, or they might be a prideful person, gender aside. They may be prideful and have a hard time telling the truth about these things to you, but they're being drawn to doing it because they see you leveling up and it's attracting them to be real. Is it sincere? Does this person want to just reap the benefits of your success, or do they sincerely want, I mean, this is regret coming in, but is the regret because they're not going to get to be a part of this abundance, or is the regret truly, like, what is the sincerity level of this person? So far, I'm not picking up anything real negative, but there has been like a 7 of Swords and a Queen of Swords, so you might be real wary of this person or just unsure. Are they trustworthy? What's going on with this Knight? 7 of Wands, so you're going to really have to keep maintaining your position. If you're open to having a conversation with them or open to them in general, you're going to have to maintain standing your ground. This could also mean that he's being a little bit stubborn and not saying these things yet. But what about 7 of Wands, a Tower, and a 2 of Cups? He's going to stand up for this love and shock you. This message coming in might be really shocking. I think he's standing up for you to some extent, or he's standing for himself, or either that, or you're going to have to maintain your boundaries. But the sense I have here is that that's not going to be a problem at all for you. You're very comfortable with your own personal authority, even if it's not your natural way. Even if you're not naturally a Queen of Swords, you have worked hard to be able to be a Queen of Swords when needed, and that people are going to fuck around and find out if they try to cross you too much. You're not on blast about that, though. You're pretty low-key about it, but you're willing to do it if necessary. And you're going to have to do that with this person if you feel that they're disrespecting you in any way. But I also sense that this person is standing up for the relationship now, and is standing up for the truth and for the love and for the needed apology here. So now I'm going to, I just got this idea, because these cards are very revelatory. The Tarot Astrologique, about hidden motives. Let's pull what's the hidden truth here about this Knight coming towards you that you had to be pretty strict with in the past? This could also be like on a more global scale. It could be something that can feel hard to trust. Like, I'm going to use an American example because I'm in the US, but people on the far left trying to trust the mainstream Democratic Party. In theory, we might sort of, if you're a leftist, you may kind of grasp like, well, they're at least trying to maintain some kind of level of human rights or whatever. But really, if you see what's happening in Palestine, not so much. So it's kind of like, well, can I really, you might be, that's what we just need to look at here. Like, can we really trust this? It might be a nice package, but is it really true? Is this person coming through here really going to be from a true, centered, willing, honest place? Or is there any deception involved here still that you need to watch out for? These cards are very revelatory for stuff like that. In fact, they often have the impact, I've been noticing as I get to know them more, of making you a little paranoid. Because it was designed at a time when people were you know, post-French Revolution and stuff. Like, who can we trust? Who are, you know, which happens in societies after war, right? Can you trust this energy coming towards you? Is it an ethical energy here? It's very catalytic. There's a Tower and a Knight, which is fast-moving, catalyzing energy in the realm of the heart. Yeah, Mercury. So Mercury is fast. Mercury is air. I think Mercury is also Hermes or Hermes, right? The Hermes Trismegistus, right? He's a super powerful alchemical teacher. So for that card to be coming out and is this trustworthy? Fuck yeah, it's trustworthy. You can trust Hermes, right? Like, he's a spiritual teacher that I trust, and I highly recommend looking into him because he goes way beyond Greek philosophy, right? He's got a history all over the ancient world and the esoteric world, way beyond Greek philosophy. So that is really positive energy that you would want to see. And then the other energy is Aries, the 20 degrees of Aries. So let me read this card. He's coming in like Hermes, or in this flight, fast, wise energy, recognizing what he wants to say and needs to say about this love or this situation. And then the 20 of Aries, what is that message here? In spite of his heavy appearance, this unfortunate mammal is gifted with extreme mobility, and this mobility is dangerous for everything that comes in its vicinity. For with a single and unconscious lash of its tail, he will submerge the imprudent individual who would try to capture him. This mobile mastodon represents fate. The card presages danger of falls and wounds. It is the unexpected catastrophe, so the Tower is present here, the effects of which are far-reaching. It is detrimental to fruitfulness. It brings alternating losses and gains. The card being cardinal or movable, it cannot be relied upon. So that Tower energy is shifting reality, like intense. Like, you imagine the whip of this whale's tail. This is a whale here. If you can see that. It represents insecurity and entails ruin at the most unexpected moment. It is a card of misfortune, disgrace, and illness. It gives love of pleasure and a fierce and selfish disposition. So I have a sense that he's not in this energy. It's that he's realized that he was in this energy and he caused a lot of destruction. It was my fault, but I blamed you. I hope you can forgive me one day. I wish things could be different. I hid who I really am from you. These realizations for this person have come through like a tower and like a thundering end of the old way, in a way that's been destructive to the old order in this person's life. This love has created a tower. They've had to stand their ground. They love you, and they're being strong, and they're being willing to do it. And this message is coming in a trustworthy way, that they've recognized their mistake. I'm going to pull one more card about them, though, just to kind of... So, as this comes in, as this energy comes in, what is the quality of the encounter that you're going to have with this person? Because this is the energy coming towards you. You have attracted this to you by being willing to be in this stillness and do your work. I have the sense that you've attracted this new dynamic to come in from this old relationship or this old scenario that has been a death of the old way. And now there's new flight coming in with this new healed energy. Hermes is a healed figure. Hermes is not somebody who brings destruction. He brings healing and wisdom. The divine inspiration that this person got that created the tower about you might have been gifted to him from Hermes Trismegistus, for example, right? He's considered a spiritual figure today that people work with in today, not just in ancient times. What is going to be the quality of this communication and this encounter? What's going to be the quality of it for you when it does happen. Not the past context. What is going to be the future quality of this encounter with this person for you that I think is from your past, or I know is from your past. Okay, again, Aries, interesting. What is going to be the quality of this encounter? So this is the pure Aries. It's not 20 degrees of Aries. This is Aries in its full position in the sky. Aries is a fire element. Sorry, I just lost my place in this book. Come on, Aries. What is going to be the quality of this communication when it takes place? Ouch. I need to find a better seat for this myself down here. This card, which symbolizes this sign, shows a landscape of rugged and uneven appearance. Its bare and barren peaks, its solid castle resting on a foundation of impregnable rock surely convey the idea of strength and power. So this person is going to be coming in a powerful way. That's why Mercury is here too, right? The quality of learning is profound that's happened here between you. Aries also gives an impression of energy, violence, and blind willpower. So this person might be coming in a little overwhelming to you. They might be a little bit more demanding than you feel is justified for what has gone down in the past. You might have to slow their roll for them a little bit by being in this Queen of Swords energy. It's easy to comprehend its battling spirit because it said this person fought for you or for this relationship or fought their way out of this dark experience. So it's easy to comprehend its battling spirit, which is a moment of fierce anger makes it charge straight ahead without regard for obstacles, heedless of the consequences of its action, at the risk of fracturing the head. Astrologically, it is a fiery, masculine, dry, cardinal diurnal sign. It is the day domicile of the planet Mars. This is warrior energy coming into you, and which makes sense. It's a Knight of Cups. He's a warrior coming in, speaking from the heart, but the fire element's a little heavy here, so he might be coming in kind of hot and overwhelming to you. And that's why you're in this Queen of Swords energy, because you're needing to kind of cool it down a little bit. And you're unsure if this is going to be trustworthy. It is coming through as trustworthy, but volatile. It's volatile. So volatile trustworthiness is a little bit of a conundrum, right? Or is that the word? Not conundrum, but oxymoron, I guess. Volatility is not... but this is almost like the volatility of, I know I'm right, but I'm volatile. I'm not fucking around about my own rightness, right? Astrologically, it is the day domicile of the planet Mars. It is a sign of fickleness, gluttony, sometimes impermanence, of shamelessness, of immorality. It is usually fortunate for material things, giving success through activity and courage. So he's mustering up the courage of Aries to come through with this apology and this tower information. It's going to be experienced to some extent like a tower for you. You may have worked so hard that you're at this place of peace, and that's why you've attracted this person back in, and it's going to disrupt everything for you again. So you are in a position of wanting to protect your peace. That's coming through strongly as this person comes charging for you. This person's a fiery warrior, though, and I would be lying if I said that I don't feel that you're also attracted to this person and wanting to hear this. Who doesn't want an apology if they feel hurt by someone, right? And I sense that you would like this to happen, but you're not going to be fucked with this Queen of Swords. Physically, it rules over the head and face. So yeah, this is, what's some advice for you about dealing with this warrior when he comes towards you? You're not super worried. You are going to probably be able to stay in your guidance and have your clear boundaries that you're sure of established here. But let's see. What's some advice for you when this information comes charging towards you in this kind of fiery, determined, maybe even argumentative? Like I could see this person coming into being like, man, you really fucked up my world. I can't love anyone since I met you. Like, I don't know it might be a little combative in the beginning, but really it's this confession of love. It could look something like that. that you don't see coming, or that kind of knocks you off kilter a little bit. What's your advice for dealing with this energy as it comes charging towards you? Be confident in your own energy. Be in 9 of Pentacles energy, which is you're good whether this person comes charging towards you or not. You're solid no matter what they're doing. You're not a movable energy that's just going to be pulled all over the place based on this person's energy. You're solid on your own. So that's going to be your first advice, is to maintain your own center, your own central column of solidity within yourself. Attracting this, you don't have to do the work. This is his work to do, or their work to do, or her work, whoever, right? It's their work to do. You are attracting it. You need to just receive it. You don't have to go doing anything about any of this. Let this person do the work. And this is justice. So this is this person's karmic justice. They've had to go through all of this intensity because it's justice. And it comes back to this. Fighting for justice is the heart of the matter. So something about this in the past was unjust, or out of balance, or non-harmonious. This person's experience has brought this into a more just or balanced alignment, and you have attracted it because you were willing to stand your ground. So now this person's going to come through. They know who you are. They know that you're a queen. They know that you're the empress. They want to come rushing in to move to the next stage with you. And all you have to do is just maintain your own center and let this person do the work. You don't need to be trying to meet them where, you don't have to be overextending yourself. So I think that's a good place to end the reading. And I was drawn to pull this little heart of the sea. This is a seed pod, that these have esoteric meaning for a lot of people. Mine did not come from the ocean. I did not find mine on a beach. I found it in like a really old, well, it might have been at the beach, actually. I might have gotten it at Long Beach, at Marcia's Free Museum. I feel like that it was in like this curios box or something. But these are considered helpful for the heart center, water element. They're called Heart of the Sea. Look them up. They're neat. And I kind of randomly was inspired to grab mine and put it out here for this reading. And I think that's why, because it's this cooling, loving energy, and heart-centered energy is going to be wise for you to stay in, as well as maintaining your own physical 3D security for yourself. Don't let this person pull you off that secure place that you're in. And maybe look up Heart of the Sea and see if its energy can be helpful to you in maybe cooling or alchemizing some of this intense energy still that's settling in. So thank you. I hope you have a good rest of your day or week or whatever. I'll be back with a couple more readings this weekend. Take good care.